Okay. Test. Seems to work, guys. Hello guys, it's Darksigner here from the German Duel Masters channel, and welcome back to a stream where a bozo with zero technical knowledge finally managed to get the live stream up and running. Yeah, I think I might hop into X-Boom versus Marios first, because that's a Rush Mirror match. Let's see if they already finished up or are still in the game. Yeah, I would really like to hop into Maker P versus Claude next, because it's 4-boss Hydro Hurricane matchup, and I do really enjoy that matchup. I have some sort of affection for it. Yeah, would also like to see the other 4-boss from Atanamir, but yeah, will depend on how the games are going. Okay, it's game 2, and sorry guys, I don't have the adequate image pack for these pyro fighters. I don't find the issue, because yeah, I think I installed the right image pack, but I seem to not get it installed into my Octagon. And it's also like I have some of the OCG cards, but not every OCG card, so it's really dependent on which OCG art players are trying to use, if I can see them or not. But yeah, if you see some blank cards, I will explain them. And yeah, in chat we saw that X-Boom lost the first game, he said, so this looks like he will even the score at 1-1 soon with 4 creatures on board, and Marios only at 2 mana, so best he can do is play like a speed attacker, and then I don't know, is it good to pyro and then clear the whole board, leave X-Boom with just Gonta? Because I think you have to do it, but if X-Boom is holding a speed attacker of his own, I think the game is pretty much over. Okay, tapping 2 mana, so can he play like double spell here? Yeah, that's good. Getting Gonta and Deadly Fighter out. Now he can kill 2 of his opponent's creatures. Oh, I don't know if I agree with clearing the Deadly Fighter here, because Sniper could provide X-Boom more value as well as trade into the Sniper. So I don't know, but yeah, most likely he will just go for game here anyway, because no, like Marios has all the cards in hand. So yeah, you basically have to go in here, hope for no last shield volcanic arrows. If that's volcanic arrows, then what can you do? Yeah, and no last shield volcanic arrows, so X-Boom evens the score. And Marios has the advantage of going first in game 3, which is good, of course. But let's see. Oh, X-Boom with the De La Serna tag instead of Cannon Shell this time, which I think is correct, because the Cannon Shell is just like worse Torcon. Like, if you want a shield trigger creature in the Rush Mirror, display more Torcons. This is actually like a surprise tool against control, which maybe comes up in like 1 in 30, 40, 50 games, whatever, maybe 1 in 20, then it's worth it. Yeah, I like this more than the cannon shell. This is more like you're actually trying to win and not trying to meme, but I mean, the intention was clear that cannon shell is some sort of like cool card instead of like a boring one. But yeah, Xboom immediately flips, but because he got out-tempoed really hard with the 1-drop into mushroom into 1-drop, like that's the best curve Rush can have. So maybe we can spark the discussion now if we want to play a burst shot for the mirror match. Hope you stick Gontas. But yeah, like I said, I want to see some of the 4-boss games. I think we can probably open both and double watch and see which game is more interesting, sort of. If Octagon loads. Yay, we're finally in one game. Okay, let's ask here which game it is. Okay, so Atanamir leading 1-0. Which is to be expected, I think, because naturally 4-boss nowadays does really well into Fortress Burn, but this also doesn't look like Fortress Burn. This looks like Grub Turbo Burn, so I might have misread or got the wrong info on the deck. I thought this was more of a standard Fortress Burn, which it isn't. Let's see if we can get the other game up as well, right next to it. Currently it's a bit too much for the stream, but it seems to get there. Yeah, currently Octagon not doing its best now, finally. Dang, really too much at the moment. Can I finally get into this game? Yes, okay, finally. We got it, boys and girls, if any are watching. Okay. Finally, I'm happy with my setup. Let's quickly ask. Oops. What is the score here? Okay, so Claude already in a 1-0 lead. I see nothing untypical here on Maker's Peace side, like in mana or board. So no spice I have discovered yet compared to standard 4-boss. Claude leading 1-0 and having a crazy board right now with the handlock of Gigasalt. And can we see? I think I have to do like extended tooltips to see what the Petrova called. Yeah, declared Guardian. Okay. Which is good for a maker, because that means his 4-boss and Fal are huge and can threaten to just like run over everything. But I guess Claude just jump blocked and Fal couldn't attack. That was probably played the turn before. Meanwhile, on the other side, we see Atanamir playing his second 4-boss, which is huge. So now he can get the advantage train rolling, search the clamp and a soul swap. Yeah, that's pretty good, because he can do both in one turn. Probably would have been better to grab a Lost Soul, because Life's Hand is huge and he could draw more because he plays water. So I don't know if the clamp really clears the whole hand, but at least it does something. Oh, Lost Soul from Maker. I don't know if he searched it with Fal or not, but good regardless. What? Why doesn't he attack? Oh no, that's definitely misplay, because like these Guardians are buffed by Petrova, and he just has like the 6.5k Pala, which can jump block, but these can just go over Gigasalt. Like, I don't know what's happening there. Oh, it's still what? I have no idea what's going on in that game. Why is this thing still tapped? Why isn't Maker attacking over it? Maybe it's a bug on my end that the card isn't even there. Because, like, yeah, this shouldn't stay tapped. I think this is a visual bug on my end. I think I will just close and reopen that game again. Because, yeah, we can't play, can't really commentate when we don't have the proper board state. Meanwhile, on the other side, Live has a Bolmedius up, which is nice. I like another win con in addition to your main win con, just like if mana burn doesn't work, or like oftentimes it's just good to burn your mana, like your opponent's mana, outside of the reach for answers for Bolmedius. Problem against like nature decks is that Soul Swap is a 3 mana out to it. But yeah, otherwise I think, yeah, adding Bolmedius is pretty good. Simplified game state, he can steal some games. And yeah, Octagon really doesn't like me to open that game. Okay, now we're back. But like it still shows the Gigasalt. I don't know probably, maybe it was just a bug that it's tapped, and probably it was untapped the whole time and Claude kept it untapped. So yeah, my maker couldn't run over it and was just visual bugging it tapped for me. Okay, we're back in this. We're back in this. Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, Claude vomited his whole hand onto the board with multiple Ria straws, and all Maker could do is play an ice vapor, but that doesn't do much when Claude just spams creatures, and yeah, the one spell he's going to activate will burn all of Maker's mana. So this game looks very over. Like normally, like without Petrova, it would still be winnable because Burst Shot from shields could take out almost all attackers. But yeah, with Petrova boosting the Riases, I think this pretty much just Claude finding a way to like 2 Hydra Hurricanes. I don't know. I think 1 should be enough. Yeah, he has 1, and yeah, the second one is just like sealing the deal in a game that's like 90% won already. And yeah, meanwhile on the other side, Atanamir really shows what I meant with the Balmedius. Sorry, Life for Life shows it because yeah, he's forcing Atanamir to deal with this Balmedius, and all he could do was block the Belix, which is good. It at least stops one attack from Balmedius, 1 more turn to find an answer. I don't know if we still have the Soul Swap and Clamp from before. Probably not. Otherwise this would be an easy turn to swap the Balmedius into mana for like a Bronze Arm Tribe and then clamp the rest of the hand, which would be like the ideal turn here. And yeah, meanwhile Claude is finishing up on the other side. Yeah, I'm just going over the comments on the side. Yeah, Maker just typed it, and I think yeah, that made the most sense. Like which bug it was just not tapped. Yeah, and yeah, sometimes people forget Petrova buff X-Boom. That's real. I think there's a famous Mr. Buzzard video about it where he explains how that cost him a game, and also I have experienced it myself quite a bit. Luckily, mostly I'm on the side where my opponent forgets the Petrova buff. I have won because someone couldn't trade, like thought he couldn't trade, and forgot his own Petrova. I think the situation was like that Sky Sword is also an initiate, which rarely comes up in IDC meta. Like most people just view it as like a beast folk. And yeah, Claude taking this one 2-0. Let's focus on the last game. I think probably the other game. Is there a result for that one yet? Yeah, so Modest took down the LDN variant of Seiryu, which is to be expected because like Seiryu's build was even more anti-control with the Bonanzas, so you trade in a bit of early game defense for like the late game payoff, and that gets usually taken advantage of by FN Rush. And yeah, here this is still game 2. Atanami leading 1-0, but game state wise, it looks pretty even with like slight favor for Live, because Live has the actual like game ending threat on board in Bolmedius. Bouncing a 4-boss, that's just wrong. I think this is a clear misplay, because Atanami showed you that he doesn't have any outs for your Bolmedius. You just leave the 4-boss there, and now he can just 4-boss, grab, swap in the bronze arm for Bolmedius, and he cleared your threat and searches an extra spell on the way because he has another 4-boss on board. So yeah, I can tell you bouncing 4-boss is definitely not the right move. Like in almost any case, it's the wrong move. Also, I forgot to announce that the stream is up. Should have done that. Hey, but better late than never. Did we see a terror pit on Bolmedius? It looks like a swap, but I don't know what got swapped out. Wasn't paying attention. Yeah, at this point, I think it looks like Atanami will take this game as well, because Life for Life gave away free 4-boss searches. But oh, that's something that could change it up. Surprise Archi de la Serna. Yeah, this is game on board, bearing any shield triggers. This could give him the win. Oh, and now he starts going in. Yeah, I can see it. Just try to bait the Archi to run into you. Also, like, maybe you know your shields, so you need to do something like that. But I don't know if that's a good idea. Yeah, because now you just okay. But who would have thought that he plays Meltdown as well? That's quite a surprise, unless you saw it game 1. I wouldn't have expected Archi, and even less would have expected the Meltdown. So yeah, now you basically need a burst shot and shields, otherwise it's done, because also through the attack you gave the mana crisis, which now you don't have Sky Sword and shield, so Soul Swap isn't a good trigger. but a lot of things going wrong for Atanamir at the moment. Yeah, what can you do? I think this will go into game 3 as well. Searches the Sky Sword, but yeah. Ooh, interesting. I would have attacked 1 by 1 because now you still lose the burst shot. But well, no, the Hulkers can't attack. If Hulkers could attack, I would attack 1 by 1. Otherwise, it's the same. Same thing. There's still reason to attack 1 by 1. But 2 burst shots are in mana, so yeah. I think there's a reason for both. You could do 1 by 1 because then you don't lose to burst shot and Magma Rex, but you lose to Pit. But then again, yeah, if you attack with Dilacerna, you just lose to Pit, and I don't know. Too much for my brain right now. Meanwhile, those two are starting the game 3. We will put in the other results. Mario's 1-2-1 over X-Boom. Then we had Claude winning 2-0 versus Maker P. And then we had Modest winning 2-1 over Serio. And then we can now focus on this last game. Both players starting with Bronze Arm Tribe. That's pretty good. No unfair advantage because one missed the ramp. Ooh, and Life for Life starting with the early burn. Does Atanamir have another nature mana so he can ramp with Sky Sword and another Bronze Arm? He does. There comes the Sky Sword. Can he finish it up by having a Lost Soul? There's a Reap and Sow, so no Lost Soul at the moment. But you see here like very clearly what the issue of these quote-unquote turbo burn decks is. It's good, you keep the opponent low, but at the same time your card advantage, like cards in hand, diminish so quickly, and it's tough to keep the burn, like the burn pressure high, especially against decks that can ramp themselves very well, like Phobos and Fortress can, or LDN. Like basically any self-respecting control deck these days is on like nature ramp, or is like Hydro Hurricane if you want to call that control instead of mid-range, yada yada. So yeah, I think Ruby deck out isn't real, at least in IDC meta. 40 cards, it becomes a different thing, but yeah, with isn't real, of course, it's my way of talking. It's still a tier 2 deck that can do well, but yeah, you won't have as good of a time as you would if you pick Phobos Fortress at the end. But let's see if Life for Life can manage to get through this. Atanamir played a Phobos, and I'm trying to see what he searched. Clamp. Isn't he on Lost Soul? So what's the thing that he always searches Clamp? Because like now he puts up Bolmedius. I don't know if he top decked it or not, but like if he had it, I would have liked to just search Lost Soul first, take out all the answers, and then play ball medias afterwards? No, live for live with the hard play Archie? I mean, you saw your opponent searching clamp. You would have gotten that for free anyway this turn. Unless your hand is like double Archie now, which would be crazy. That would be a crazy way to get the win. But this seems so wrong. I don't know. The Archie doesn't contest ball medias at all. And if those two last cards aren't Archie specifically, like, there should be a better play in your hand. You lost soul. Yeah, for example, yeah, just lost soul the one card. Just lost soul it. Because yeah, it was clamp and he top decked the rebirth, which is nice. But yeah, just that's still better than just hard slamming Archie. I don't really get it. And if Life for Life doesn't top deck an answer now, okay, Aqua Hooker's saying Bajula, that would be crazy 5-head play if he has Bajula in his deck, because that could burn mana and out the ball medias. Then that's something, of course, that maybe changes up, but even then I would still have sold a clam. I don't know. That's just still iffy. Like, why would you ever hard slam the Archie? Maybe he wants to go meltdown, but that's not enough, and next turn you're dying. Like, it's over. Meltdown now is not enough. Okay, maybe, yeah, he had one more creature. If Atanamir didn't have the removal in Rebirth, maybe he wanted to set up for Meltdown here, but then Atanamir has to have 0 triggers, which is unlikely. Not like impossible, but unlikely. Okay, another rebirth. Wow, those top deck rebirths, really, really nice. And gets his own bronze arm, and yeah, even gets a surfer. Now this is a bit wrong attack order. I think you go with bronze arm first due to Magmarex, but yeah, doesn't matter in the grand scheme, because what does Magmarex do? Nothing. Just still win with Phobos. There's no trigger in the grub combination that clears a 1k and a 4k. Okay, so we got the last match in. We got the last match in, and Atanamir 1-2-2-1. Let's get this into challenge. Okay. Let's see. Which game do I want to spectate? First, let's open up the second round. Okay, so round 2 is up. Which game should we spectate? Okay, seems like majority of viewers are playing themselves, so no suggestions who we should watch. First games are starting, and I think, let me check the bracket real quick. Both semifinals look interesting, but we haven't watched Modest at all yet, so I think I will jump into that semifinal versus Claude. And then let's see if the other FN Rush matches are still running, and then probably the last match to conclude is Maker versus Serio, which is the Forbes versus LDN, which is really dependent on if Bonanza gets resolved or not. I think when it resolves, it's basically game over for Forbes, unless you already have like a Bolmedius on board and that can run away with the game. But otherwise, it's pretty much over. Yeah. Okay. So, or we could just do both semifinals at the same time, because both are FN Rush, trying to get both games going. But like the Octagon, or like my PC in general, is really slow. Okay, the first game is up and running, and the other, okay, is not running yet because Autonomy said he will do a quick break. But yeah, I don't want to watch the losers bracket at the moment. We can watch the losers finals on the side, but yeah, want to go with this one first. Very good start for Claude, having 3 blockers that just wall up Modest, and he can't do anything until he removes like the Palaolaces, and then even then it looks rough. Yeah, there comes a Comet Missile, but still Giga Slug takes out anything, and Lower Giga also anything aside from the Quixotic, so yeah. Okay, and now Claude has the soft lock here. Did Guardians get called? Chimera got called, okay, yeah. Understandably so. So now the Gigasalt is basically unkillable. But also I would have liked Guardian, because like, yeah, now you see with the Palaolaces top deck, now Laura Giga and Palaolesis become unkillable if he called Guardian, which I would have liked a little bit more. Now everything is in Volcanic Arrow's Comet Missile range aside from the Zalt. So yeah, it's a bit iffy. I think this game can still go in Modest's favor, unless like Claude top decks Rias and chains it a few times into even more board presence. Yeah, I would have liked Claude to call Guardians for sure. And I think Hydra Hurricane isn't on like Holy Awe, so Modest can just play stuff aside from Braidclaw. It just sits there till it's go time. And yeah, sadly he had the deadly. I mean, there's merit to play it, but yeah, then you basically you decide in your head that next turn has to be go time. You have to go in 100%. With the charge, you still have like some leverage that you can drag out this game a little longer. Yeah, you see now you can freely just Volcanic Arrow the blocker. I think a small misplay by Claude, but still enough blockers, so Modest just can't attack at the moment. But I'm probably trying to get the other rush game up as well. Top deck Snare, which is nice. But at some point, Claude has to draw something proactive. But oh yeah, okay, a free poke because he can discard it. And yeah, Quixotic's the only thing that could run over Petrova, and you have 3 blockers, so you know for sure Petrova is going to survive. So that was a free poke with the Snare. Another one? No, okay, Palaolesis. Yeah, I could see still going for pokes because aside from Comet and Volcanic, there's nothing really happening in the shield zone. And you have to finish the game by attacking at some point. Yeah, if it's anything else than Volcanic or Comet, doesn't matter. Like Torcon, there should be only 1 Torcon left in deck or shield somewhere. And the rest is just blanks that you can discard. Yeah, now he decides to do, but why now? Like, if you had this realization, like you started doing it 2 turns before, why skip for 1 turn? Because now, if he had done it last turn, Modest would be down to 2 shields already. And then you only have to do it 1 more time before you can go for game. Yeah, but Modest is still so far away from winning this game. Best case scenario for Claude would be if he drew the Hydro and next turn just doesn't multi-brick, then it's game over. Now the blocker is also pretty good. But yeah, like still 1 turn. If he had done it, if he didn't skip on this for 1 turn, next turn would be game. So sad, bro. Yeah. Another creature, but basically now Modest needs to have a Comet Missile and shields and then next turn top deck a speed or another blocker removal, then he could go for game. Yeah, otherwise the attackers just don't line up. Too many blockers there. Ooh, another, yeah, that's over. That's GG right there, because yeah, Volcanic can't hit those and Petrova is unaffected, so yeah. That is the game. Game 1. Let's see, yeah, the other game loaded. Let's put that on side. Yeah. Okay, this still seems like a game 1 in turn 9. Atanamir on 7 cards in hand, 0 shields. So still not out of the game, but looks pretty rough. Let's ask just to be sure. Yeah, so finally we have both semifinals up and running. Claude with a not so good start, but yeah, Brain Serum out of shields doesn't matter. But what happened in the early turns? I guess a 1-drop got eaten by Laura Giga, or what happened there? There's a snare, but snare just now, right? Yeah, nothing happened before. Modest didn't have anything. Yeah. Oh wow, that's tragic. Modest didn't play anything until turn 3. The Rikabu was the first play of the game. Okay. Yeah, just not Modest's day. That's the thing you have to accept with FN Rush sometimes. Like, it is the best deck because it's the most consistent, but in the event it's not consistent, it will be really bad, like this bad. Nothing until turn 3, and yeah. This will play out for a little longer, but I think Claude will back this one soon. Meanwhile, Atanamir, yeah, facing mono green rush. At least Marios had some early game plays, even some red in there. Maybe did he get burned already or something? There's a swap, but probably for Sky. Yeah, we see shield 7, so Sky was definitely played one time. And Marius has no volcanic arrows used yet. Okay. Seems like the boards got traded a bit. Oh, there's a burst shot on it. Okay, the board got burst shotted. And yeah, the Magnus is threatening lethal at this point. Yeah, I think you go Quixotic first here. I don't know. Oh, but you have 0 cards in hand. Yeah, I think you go Pyro first. I don't know. Yeah, you go Pyro first because Quixotic is easy to deal with when it's tapped. Just do nothing and run over it. Yeah. I think it's definitely Pyro first, so if it's Pit, then he has to hit the Quixotic, you still have the Pyro, and then if Atanamir doesn't have this card, you still have a good chance. Meanwhile, Claude finally defends himself a bit here and got the Rias down on board, so now he starts to snowball as well. And yeah, no trigger, so Marius takes game 1 here, looking better on that end for FN Rush. Meanwhile, the other semi-final, Claude doesn't walk away with it, he runs away with it. And yeah, modest conceits doesn't drag this game out, because like also there's like in the last game he at least had a small sliver of hope with the big board, like one blocker removal out of shields, one top deck blocker removal of speed attacker, and could have tried to go for game. So understandable, but here in this game he bricked super hard and couldn't do anything. Let's get another game running in the background. We haven't seen Sirio, so we'll try to get that one up. Yeah, and also I see now the other game is done already. I don't know why Octagon still showed it to me. So it will be 2-0 for X-Boom and 2-0 for Claude Alpha. Meanwhile, Belix had to take a spell back, but that's still good going first, because you basically 1 mana ahead by going first. So that's still solid. I don't know if I like second Sky Sword charged. If you have the turn 3 ramp, I would much rather hard play it next turn. Unless you're multi-brick, then of course might be a good idea. Volcanic arrows on the Belix plus sniper are pretty good for Marios. And let's see if Artanami has the Bronze Arm Tribe, which would be much needed at this point. Slash Dodgers still okay to get into the Sky Sword range. Yeah, but then even I like it even more to keep the Sky Sword. Unless you have another one, why did you charge the second one? Because now you would only need to top deck a light or nature mana, which should be doable. And if you multi-brick with Rebirth, just charge the Rebirth. Maybe he was too focused on playing another Belix, but I don't think that's correct. If he doesn't have a Sky Sword, it's really tragic. Double Gontown board is like rough. I think now you need like Pit and Burst to even have a chance. Depending on how Marius attacks, Burst can also help steal the game. But he took Pyrofighter Magnus. Yeah, no, this is over. Even if Sky Sword appears here, I think there has to be a lot of things going well for Artanami to still have a chance. And yeah, this board state looks really rough. Yeah, this looks pretty good for Claude, I have to say, because he had like one difficult matchup in the first round of top 8, but he won that really convincingly, so it didn't seem to be too hard for him, or at least maybe he just drew better or Maker drew poorly, whatever. The hardest matchup I think he already passed, and now he sees 2 good matchups for himself, because Hydra Hurricane is indeed the best control deck into Fine Nature Rush because of all the early blockers. Belix, no, that's not good. Grab back Slash. Do you have to play Slash again? You have to have a Sword Swap here. Oh no, that looks rough. That looks really rough. Yeah. No, just a pyro comes down here. Just attack with like a small dude first, play around burst shot. Belix will take this for free probably, and then yeah. You have to have some soul swap chain and shields to win this. Double soul swap or something, I don't know. Yeah. Claude gets to face another FN rush in finals, I think, because this match will surely wrap up shortly. Yeah, and that's the game. Marius takes it 2-0. Let's hop into the last remaining match. Oh, damn. Okay, so Serio resolved Bonanza is what we can see. But Maker P has the bigger board. Yeah, the difficult part is like now you have to basically win in one turn, because if you swing for a few cards, Bonanza can just do too much. All right, Maker won the first game. I think it's possible to win. You just have to keep your opponent off Bonanza. If you can slash it away, discard it, the opponent can't Bonanza, you're in a really good position to win. So if you win Lost Soul Race, start burning early with Fortress to keep them off of 8 mana, something like that. That's the game plan you have against this sort of deck. But yeah, basically Maker has to win in one go, because otherwise it's really tough. If you give Serio resources, he will just get too much advantage and run away with the game, turn it around. Oh damn! Oh no! That was the chance to. Yeah, I think at this point it starts to slip away from Maker. Is there a chance that he goes for deck out? No, he's also behind the deck out race. Yeah, at this point it's really tough. Got the board cleared. We saw an Invincible Abyss on stream. Hype moment. Raigeki on stream. Why is challenge bugging? I can get the 2-0 for Marios in, but it won't advance Marios, which is a bit crazy. I have to fix it on my PC probably. Can we... Why can't we do this? Okay, apparently challenge is buggy. So yeah, maybe challenge won't be updating the entirety of the things, but yeah, we will know who wins even without challenge. Maker trying his best to get back with morbid medicine here. Zerion 0 cards in hand, which is good for Maker. Maybe he can start building up his board significantly enough. Is there a Bolmedius he can grab? There is. I think, yeah, you grab Foul Bolmedius here. Yeah, he does it. That's correct. Yeah, the top deck Fairy Lives, nice. The Singaporean special Fairy Life. Good in early game, very bad in late game. And now Bolmedius. Top deck another Fairy Life? Or top deck Pit? Like it's the law, no? Sky Sword still okay, but not great because Bolmedius needs 3 attacks by his own anyway. Now Maker as a foul. Let's see how patient he is. Yeah, he's patient. I like that. He could have searched for removal, tried to whack in with Bolmedius, but I think if you're wanting to have a chance at this, you need the Morbid Chain to keep going. So grab another file and Fortress. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I mean Phobos doesn't do much. He doesn't have another file. Yeah, okay. I see that. I could have seen like maybe Phobos, because Phobos is removal and Fortress isn't. But yeah, minor thing. If he fortresses twice, now he can't get rid of dark mana. Yeah, no, I don't think Fortress was the move here. Just doesn't do anything. Yeah, too much stuff to burn. Colors are very balanced. No colors starved here. Yeah, I think it's grab back file and Phobos because either you're most likely charging the card anyway, so you can still charge the Phobos if you want to. And if not, you charge the top deck, and then Phobos should have like a pit or burst shot left to search, so you can kill Laura Giga that's maybe coming now because he's tapping 1. Yeah, I don't like the Fortress grab back, but he got half right with Faliga, which keeps the Morbid Medicine value stream going. Ooh, a Soul Swap, okay. That's pretty good. File. Do we have enough? Okay, Lost Soul. I thought, do we have enough for the thingy, the absolute spell, the invincible spell? But we don't. Yeah, it's okay. It's still in a okay spot for Maker here. If he has removal for the Belix, you bonk with Bolmedius. He has a Belix. That is removal. That's pretty good removal. He can swap in the Bazagazir. And Bazagazil is also another threat, so he can go for game next turn. I don't like keeping the Belix in my guy. I would have definitely swapped that Belix right away. Oh, okay, he goes for... Okay. Another approach. Yeah, morbid. Get the morbid value again. Yeah. A little less aggressive way of playing. More patient. But I think at this point you could have tried to set up Bazagazi, because like if you do that, then Serio has one turn left to drawn out for the Bazagazi low ball medias. And if he misses like this one turn and top decks like a Fairy Life, Bronze Arm, whatever, then he wins next turn guaranteed. But yeah, still fine. Going over the comments in live stream. What did I say wrong about Marios? Is it like Mario? Marianne? I don't know. FN Rush King. And yeah, this top 8 was definitely made for Claude. Perfect bracket. Perfect tiebreakers to advance with like 3-2, I think. And I am a Naruto fan. What did I say to to get that impression out of you, Claude? What did I reference? And no Marios, or however I should call you, you cannot play the finals yet. Oh, there was enough mana left for Abyss in that turn. Then, yeah. But also you can't just do it, because next turn Morbid just comes back and does the same thing. So I get the Lost Soul play somewhat. Just hope to see removal for Ball Medias at some point. I totally understand that you don't want to take 2 hours to play a game. Yeah, that's rough. Losing to the lone Balmer, yeah, I think that's the way you beat Mana Bonanza, if they resolve Mana Bonanza, like the literal only way. Oh, why did he scoop? Didn't he have one more turn? Wait. Ah, okay, that was it was Serious turn at the moment, and he passes back to, yeah, okay. I thought this is weird looking. Why is he scooping? We still have one more top deck, but yeah. Let's see if I can get this result into challenge without it bugging. Let's try to refresh the page. Yeah, still. Okay, let's try to fix it. Let's try to fix it. Yeah, missing. Yeah, what the hell? Can we? Yeah, we can't do anything here. Issue 0. No, that's wrong, my guy. Definitely not 0 issues. Finally, it updated. Okay, so we just have to put in maker P versus Zero. And then the last round can start. All right. Let's announce the round. Okay, players can start setting up their rooms. And yeah, Claude, I figured it out soon after that it was Xavier's turn and not Maker's turn. And that's why he had no auto bully. And oh, yeah, it was reported as 2-0 tie. Could be. I think normally, like in challenge, you can just put 2, and I think maybe because I didn't physically put the 0 in at first, that didn't work. But normally you should be able to just shortcut it and just 2, and it autofills the 0. I don't know what was the issue there, but putting in the 0 manually finally worked. And yeah. Still didn't get an answer from Claude why I'm a Naruto fan. Where did you get that from? Not that I deny it, but I want to know what got you there. What info did I give away that you investigated it, or is it just like you're spying from other people? Okay, so we definitely want to watch the finals. So we're booting up that. And I think because the 5th place match is more important, because it actually gets you 4th place and more points, we will watch that and yeah, just see if the other games are still going, if we still have some content to watch afterwards. Because like both finals and 5th place match feature FN Rush. 3rd place match also does. So yeah, 7th place match is probably taking the longest with Life for Life for Serio. Octagon really working slow for me, but probably just too much with streaming and Octagon at once. That's probably too much processing speed. So we're here in game 1 of the finals, and Claude with nice curve of Laura Giga into Blix and then Ghost Touch, leaving Marius with like 0 resources. He has like just 1 creature on board, and now 2 and 1 card in hand. Let's see if Claude can find Mistrias here to start snowballing the board even more. Doesn't have to at this point already, but would make things easier. Snare for Quixotic, which is nice because that was the only card like Gonta and Quixotic can go over these small blockers, and the Laura Giga as well. I think yeah, nothing much Marius can do at this point. Yeah, that should be it. Nail in the coffin. Like this will be like the first game between Modest and Claude, but even worse because like he has so little creatures on board and Claude still has resources, so he will likely snowball very soon. Yeah, Stream, another blocker. Yeah, just slowly but surely taking this game. Let's load the match for 5th place in the meantime. Yeah, the only good part in my opinion about 3 FN Rush in Top Cut is that the tournament will be very fast. We are like 1.5 hours in and almost done with the whole top 8. So quick, clean 2-hour tournament maybe. Let's see the other game load already. Not yet. And now Claude finally has the Mystrias, can start to snowball and eventually find his Hydro Hurricane and go for a game. Don't think you even need to like wait that long. If he finds a Gigasalt, he can do the poke 1, discard 1 strat again. And yeah, so Palole is 6.5. The Aura Gigas are 8 because of Pala. So yeah, Comets and Volcanics can just destroy those, but it won't matter. Yeah, and Elixir can still be Comet Missile, but okay. We are in the X-Boom versus Maker P match. Let's see. Game 2 and X-Boom leads 1-0. Okay. Which is to be expected with the board state. That it's soon going to be 2-0. But hey, at least we get some time to watch the other games, maybe. No Maker. No. It's a rough matchup. It's basically you need to prepare even more, but if you prepare to win versus Rush, then you're just killing your chances against other decks. I mean, there's still chance. We know the card in hand isn't a speed attacker, so Burst Shot here, Blizzard here. And yeah, Mario scooped game 1. And Claude with a burst start here. Ghost Touch for Torcon isn't that great. And Mario's already on 3 creatures on board. And not many defensive triggers in Claude's deck, like at all. Don't think he even runs pits. He just like, it's all about early defense. And if you don't see it like you do here, then it can be over pretty quickly. But yeah, no mass removal for Maker, it seems. So X-Boom wins 2-0 and reaches 4th place. Oh no, what? I thought it was game 2 already. What happened? Why is this still going? Game 2, I lead. Oh, huh? What? Was it Meltdown? Guys, did I miss Meltdown? Did he activate Meltdown? I think that's the only chance, right? Yeah, whoa, nice! I totally missed it. I was so focused on the other game where Marios ran away with it that I completely missed the Meltdown. Yeah, that's how you win. Just be on 0 shield with 1 creature and no volcanic arrows. Okay, so again, Claude doesn't have a good start. That doesn't look good at all for him. No 1-drop, no 2-drop blocker, nothing, and Marios with the 1-drop into Gonta, which is great. Oh, the Giga Balsa, that's the perfect answer for Deadly Fighter. He needed that, because now with Ghost Touch, another card is gone, Pyrofighter, but Mario's still on a card in hand after that. Another Gonta. Oh, okay, that's rough without any pits in shields because they aren't there. Yeah, the hand is cleared, so no top deck speed attacker possibility, which is great. But yeah, rough for Claude here, the spot he's in. Yeah, the Giga Balsas are nice, but they don't do anything against Gonta. Now you basically have to have Petrova call something, or like a Giga Zalt to run over one of these Gontas. Yeah, Giga Zalt or Petrova, you need one of those two, otherwise the game is cooked. Snare for one of the Gontas maybe. Meanwhile, oh yeah, Maker with the Terror Pit out of shields. Sniper can't attack. Maybe another Sky Sword, run over the Deadly Fighter, and looks good for Maker there. Burst even. Oh, Burst is crazy here. X-Boom with just 1 card in hand, but it's a speed attacker, right? Yeah, it is. Yeah, Deadly Fighter has to attack. So, yeah, Claude at 0 shields. But he has more blockers. Yeah, 2 more block. That's good. That's a way how Claude could stabilize here. We know X-Boom has the Pyrofighter in hand. No creature on board for Maker, so no Meltdown shenanigans in game 3 here. Volcanic Arrows on the Palolesis probably, or yeah, you have to. But do you swing with Gonta here, because Slug will just trade with it most likely. Yeah, tough spot for Marios, because Claude like finally stabilizes a bit. Yeah, takes the trade. Yeah, Maker has to really think here. You definitely have to play like a Sky Sword or discard the Pyrofighter Magnus. Best case Sky Sword, of course. That gives you more mana, more card advantage. Oh, double blocker for Claude Alpha after the stream. That is crazy. And you see in the mana zone, interesting thing, like he plays at least 2 Ice Vapor, which is good against control, but in this matchup bricked him twice. In game 2 and 3 he bricked on them, but unlike game 2 he was on the play, so he could stabilize right in time, and he calls Guardian, yeah, which is good. One Palolis is away from never being Volcanic Arrows again. But yeah, this game looks over for Marios. No cards in hand, no nothing. Claude with all the advantage. Maker piece still in the thinking phase. Or this side of Octagon froze. I don't know. At least the finals are running, but I can also understand that this is a big think turn for Maker, yeah. Finally decides to play something. Slash Charger into Sky Sword. Yeah, that would be the perfect play, perfect outcome. Slash is another speed attacker. Ooh, only 3. That's a D gate for B. Ooh, that's... Yeah, but yeah, he can't lose because only 1 red mana. Otherwise, if Ixboom had 2 red mana, it could be the Pyro he has in hand plus Comet Missile. But he hasn't. He has only 1 fire mana, so yeah, Maker at least survives 1 more turn. And Claude Alpha having the Mystrias, being able to snowball, even have time to play another one. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blockers, of which 3 are indestructible. So yeah, it's a numbers game, and Claude will never lose it with 2 Mystrias on board. So this is just a formality when Claude will take his next IDC win, which I don't know how many he has after that. He knows better and will probably tell us afterwards for sure. So I'm focusing a bit more on the 5th/4th place match. Winner of this gets 4th place and more qualification points. And okay, Ixboom rightfully decided to play Quixotic. Did he rightfully? Maybe you just take the trade and hope for another top deck speed attacker. Yeah, I don't know. Do you play around Rebirth? That's the question, because now Rebirth really punishes the play that he tried to do to set up for lethal for next turn. If he just rams the Pyro and hopes for another speed attacker top deck, might have been better if like all Maker has his answers. No. Yeah, best case scenario you'd get a green 1-drop. But yeah, just a crash here now. And yeah, now the second Belix really hurts Ixboom here. If he had done this play a turn earlier where he rams the if he just rams the Magnus. Meanwhile, Claude's wrapping it up. There's the last shield Volcanic Arrows, but he can't do anything. It's just like 1 more draw. The blocker wall will survive, and then he can just swing. Like this Solgala is indestructible and an attacker, so it's GG. So congrats Claude for winning IDC 51. And we will full focus on the remainder of this game, which is still not out of reach for Ixboom, but at this point starts to tip over to Maker. So I think here it's closer to formality when Maker is going to take the win. Let's see if other results have come in the meantime. Modest already won. No, he did not. So let's see if we can get a peek at the 3rd place match as well. Burst Shot just to clear the Torcon, and Morbid grabs back the Sky Sword. Yeah, what can X-Boom do? 1-drop plus... the wrong speed attack. If he had another Pyro, this would have been great to get rid of the Belix. And then hopefully top deck another speed next turn. But now Maker has a lot of options. I think one is just like Sky Sword. This looks like an APOC, yeah. APOC. Does he have more stuff? He had Morbid. He got the Sky Sword and the Belix back. So now, yeah, this looks very over. Maker just has to find like another 4 boss surge, I guess. Now you can start looking for win cons, whichever you want to take. I mean, he slashed X-Boom's deck, but slashed it very quickly. I don't know if he looked out for how many volcanic arrows X-Boom has in shields, because if the number is 0 or 1, then just 4 boss surge meltdown and you're good to go. Let's see if the other match has loaded. It indeed loaded up, so we can follow this one as well. Oh, okay. It has concluded, and assuming Modest swung in, he probably took it, and X-Boom concedes. Yeah, it's just a matter of time whenever this is going to wrap up for Maker. He just needs to look for a win con, but basically he isn't losing. It's just a matter of time until he finds either like Balmedius or Meltdown, or just start swinging with his creatures. So yeah, congrats to Maker on 4th place, and to Modest on 3rd place, presumably. It looked like he won for sure. Let's see if the 7th place match is still going, if we have something to watch here. And yeah, Modest won 2-0. So let's see the last game. Is it still running? It is indeed still going. Let's see which game this is, if we finally connect to it. Still bugged. Still bugged. Yeah, I'm constantly disconnecting from this. Try to close it. Trying again. Meanwhile, I can update the challenge on the side. Yeah, still the one match I would really love to show it to you if Octagon would connect, but it won't. It won't. We will try to close and open Octagon again. Am I the only one but that does enjoy these random messages when Octagon is loading up? I think they're pretty funny. Okay. The game is gone, so oh, now it's there. Let's see. Well, Octagon still don't giving me a sliver of hope, but we were there before. Yeah, no. Still bugging. Finally. Is this match also concluded? It is. So 2 times in a row, when Octagon finally loads up and I join the match, it's over immediately. From the looks of it, Life for Life won this one. But yeah, let's wait for the result. And afterwards, we will do a short player interview with our IDC 51 winner, Claude Alpha. And the result is in, yeah, Life for Life indeed 1-2-1. So congrats on 7th place, gaining a point more, I think, which is something. Every point matters. Okay. And the tournament has concluded. Now we will try to get a hold of Claude Alpha. Hello, hello.
Hello, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Now maybe we will just wait if someone in stream can confirm if they can hear you. Let me check.
If you can hear me, they should be able to.
You can hear an animal, yeah. The dogs went by, and one has a very stiff...
so you have a cat and a dog.
Yeah.
Nice.
It has a stiff tail, and she likes to wiggle it, and it's like a weapon if it hits your knees, and it hit like the door and the chair and a lot of stuff.
So it's basically like a flail.
Okay, so for stream purposes, we will bring up your deck list, and yeah, first of all, congrats on your... How many IDC wins do you have?
5. Fifth.
So
yeah,
that makes you tied for first, right?
First. What do you mean first?
In normal, regular IDC wins, right?
In regular IDC wins, yeah.
Yeah. I think 5 was the biggest. I remember because you said like I'm the one with 5 IDCs now.
Like, holding as well.
Yeah, I'm like, how am I in the lead? What did I do?
More experience and joined the IDC earlier.
True. Yeah. I do agree. The earlier, like IDC 1 to 10 was definitely easier to win just because of like the playing field.
Oh yeah, I was thinking sometimes, imagine if I brought this list between IDC 1 to 10.
Yeah, but I mean, you can say that about a lot of decks. Like Fortress Burn didn't exist. Like the IDC 1 was won by LFN Burn, but like that's nowhere near as good as like the recent Fortress lists. And yeah, also FN Rush wasn't like played in huge numbers because people at the time played more what they enjoy instead of trying to win.
They played Rob and Hydros and Armor Lloyds.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay, with the technicalities out of the way, that we now know how much everyone won, do you want to say anything about the list? If you don't want to, I can ask question. I have one.
Yeah. I just want to say before I ran Ghost Touch at 4 copies, and I had 2 Corpse Chargers, no Ice Vapors, and the reason is because it's so versatile. On turn 2, you can use it against any deck just to discard something at random, because the decks usually run good cards like Soul Swap, Terror Pit, Fortress and whatnot, and for me it's good to 1-for-1 those cards, and it just goes curves in nicely into Giga Balza and Giga Zald, even if I don't have Giga Slug. And it's also nice against all of these decks which Hydro struggled with before, like previous Hydro builds could do nothing against like Turbo Burns, because you would kind of start the game on turn 3 against those, and your earliest discard was on turn 4, and they would just keep you on low mana and just win the game. And also they really increased my matchup odds against Water Fire aggro, because it has so much blocker hate that having Ghost Touch as well as 4 Miraculous Snare allows me to do other things against them. So I don't have to play blockers. I can just play more disruptively against them and kind of make their tempo bounce cards and their blocker hate cards a bit more redundant this way. And the reason I added back the 2 Ice Vapors is because just before leaving Tampere, I was at Otto's house. Shoutouts to Otto. And I playtested the Hydro build against his Ruby Armor Lloyds, which he brought to the Mega Meet, to the DMF tournament. And he did suggest at one point that Ice Vapor is really good. And I was also thinking that, it's kind of rough because Gigazalt discards your hand and keeps your opponent's hand empty, but it doesn't punish good removal top decks like Ice Vapor does. So Ice Vapor kind of fits that niche of also punishing your opponent's top decks, not just keeping their hand empty. And also, obviously, it ties in well with the deck's game plan of burning the mana, so keeping their mana a bit lower, so when Hydro strikes, it's even more devastating. So thank you, Otto, for inspiring me to put Ice Vapor back. And when I put it in the deck, I saw the impact against his Ruby Armor Lloyds as well.
Yeah, that would have been my first question. Like, how did you like the Ice Vapor? Because FN Rush seems to dominate the first tournament of the cycle. And yeah, against those we saw in finals, game 2 and 3, like it got charged into mana immediately. Obviously not impactful in that matchup. But did you say it was still fine to cut whatever you had there to improve?
Yeah, it was still fine. I still have 3 Ghost Touch, because another thing about Ghost Touch, it's nice in the beginning, but later into the game it's like a bit like Fairy Life. Well, not to the same, not as bad as Fairy Life, because it's like this card is good even later in the game, but it's still sort of this thing you don't want to top deck this, so 3 copies makes more sense as well there. So it just makes more sense. And another thing which I want to point out about the Gigazalt version of Hydro is that it makes these smaller Hydro Hurricanes like actually impactful and dangerous, because if you have Gigazalt and another darkness creature, you can basically, and 2 light creatures as well, you can basically do like a fortress burn, like a pseudo fortress burn with your deck by just bouncing 2 mana. Whereas before, if you could only bounce 2 mana, it was very useless to do with the deck, so you had to build a big board first.
I can see that. Like, I also, what I like about Ice Vapor in combination with Mistrias is that it forces a removal. So if you have both, you can stick Vapor first, and the opponent likely wastes his removal on that and has less mana to deal with the Mistrias that follows the next one.
I only do that against maybe Fortress Burn and Deck Out, because they play so many spells. But against more mid-rangey controls like Lidar Nature and Forbos, I play Mistrias first, because usually those have a lot more creatures to play around Vapor, like Eldian has Mistrias and Forbos has Fal, Forbos and other things that are good for Vapor, like Magma Rex and Rebirth and Volcano sometimes.
Interesting. It definitely depends on like board and hand state as well. If the opponent got like a search for something, you maybe don't want to put your Rias down, but yeah, I can see that if they have ways to play around Ice Vapor, that it's not great, and just hope that 1 turn less to deal with Rias gets you there.
Yeah, so you have to keep in mind which deck you're up against when you decide which one to play first, definitely.
Yeah, 1 to 2 more questions about the build. Like, one is the Brain Serum versus like actual defensive triggers. It's basically your 5th and 6th energy stream.
Energy stream, basically, nice. Yeah. I mean, it's worse. Obviously, it's worse than energy stream in the early game, but later in the game, the extra mana most of the time does not matter. It's basically more energy stream, and I need it in this deck because there's before when I only had 4 Rias for stream, there were many times when I would just brick and just top deck blocker after blocker after blocker that wouldn't do anything. So having some extra cards that can just sift through the cards so you get to your threats quicker feels a lot better for this deck. And because I also have a new deck building formula where I'm trying to have like 25% of the deck being draw power, 25% disruption, and around 50% anti-aggro. So it was I felt it was needed to reach the 25% draw power. So that's also why I have the brainstorm. And it's a trigger which does come up against aggressive decks.
Yeah, it can still help. Of course, it doesn't like stop an attack, but it can still get you to the cards that you need to.
Yeah, especially when you open with your big threats they want to see early against aggro, and they hit a serum, so that draws you a blocker or snare that can actually play. That's also quite good.
Yeah, the last question I have, like card choice wise, is you had Melnia, I think, somewhere.
I did, yes.
And I think it's just like not worth it, and you see.
Yeah, it's not worth it because this deck in 48, 13 water does not reach 90% mana consistency, unfortunately. However, it's still like between 88 to 89% mana consistency for water, which is still very close. So I changed the Melnia to Marauz because Marauz is miles better.
Yeah, I agree. I think Marauz, like aside from like niche scenarios where Melnia checks an Elsonius, but otherwise Marauz is not the better like anti-FN rush card because it's a blocker and it doesn't die when you use it for Gigazard. Is another attacker that you can swing for game with. Like I always like I feel like Solgala is so weird because to me, like if you compare it to Belix, which is right next to it, Belix seems to have way more upside, but then again Solgala is like an attacker, and also it can with like the ghost touch, and maybe you can even play 2 spells in one turn with ghost touch and like a snare or stream.
And you can use it to safely attack against 4 boss when they have burst shots. You just play a spell to have just constantly keep it at 4k and just to keep it from dying from burst shot. And it's also such a big swing against aggressive decks if you manage to do a Solgala on turn 2, follow it up with Ghost Touch or Snare on turn 3, and then run over something like Quixotic Gorgonta is such a huge blow to them. But the main reason I don't have the second Belix is because it's too vulnerable to being swapped out, so I don't want to see it too often early, because then it can be swapped out and forces me to take a mana back, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, that would have been like my last question, card choice wise, but nothing like on the cards we see on the screen, but rather what is not there. Like, would you like another like form of recovery for Hydra Hurricane? Like you said, like you don't want another Belix, but would you like maybe one Faliga, which would open up to play maybe a
I tried Liga, but it feels a bit too clunky for this list because obviously you don't play soul swaps. It's not like you can do a 2 mana Faliga and then on the same turn play the same spell you got back. Like with this Faliga in this build would be like using your whole turn to summon Faliga, and then you have to play the spell the next turn. Yeah. So it's a bit clunky too for this, and also I can't really afford to take out anything else because I need double Petrova for fire controls. I need all these blockers to reach my 50% tankiness against aggro decks, and
I think the deck is basically built to you execute your game plan or you don't win and just accept it.
Yeah,
Because, like,
exactly.
you can't
You're not
late
built
game.
to win grindfests, and also the corpse charger is like it's a very on the go recursion card. It's not like a grindfest recursion card like Morbid or Zombie. It's like you wanna play the same threat on the same turn. I even thought about putting Dark Reversal for that, but I thought, yeah, getting an extra mana is nice as well.
Yeah. The last question has nothing to do with like card choices, but like rather deck build in general. I see that you're on 48 cards, which is quite hefty amount, like in earlier Hydro iterations from other people, but as well as from you, we saw like 44, 45 card around this range, like typically above 40 because you don't want to lose so fast to deck out with your own Mystrias, but not so close to 50 like the other controls. Do you have any reasoning why you went up to this number?
Yeah, because I have so much draw power. I draw so much stuff with Rias, and also most controls are 50 cards. So I found out that if you're around 45, you're way too close to decking out, usually too close for comfort, and also with so many more people playing Slash Charger these days, 48 feels better. And also because my deck building formula, which I just touched on with 25% Steam, 25% Disruption, and 50% anti-aggro, I need my deck to be divisible by 4 for that formula to be easier to calculate all the ratios.
Yeah, that's how our brains work, I think. Also, like I see that you have like built in a lot of redundancy with like Stream and Serum, Ghost Touch, Giga Balsa. You could almost say that like Vaporeas is some redundancy, and then of course like the early game blockers as well are just like, doesn't matter much which ones you draw, as long as you draw them versus FN Rush, you're good. And
yeah, against FN Rush and aggros, I always try to play Snare before any blocker, because Snare is just so much more powerful, because other blockers are susceptible to Comet and Volcanic arrows, but Snare is like, makes their Volcanics and stuff kind of redundant.
Yeah, that's true. Like,
so it slows them down.
Permanent removal, which is
exactly why I play 4.
Yeah, makes sense. But also I have seen, I think it was in finals, like in the end it won you the game, and probably you winning the game anyway, whatever you do at this position. But one chance you had with Petrova, you called Chimeras, where I think if you call Guardian and then top deck Pala, which you did, it's basically closed, because then like all your Lauras and Palas can't be destroyed anymore, and by calling Chimeras you're still susceptible to the fire removal spell.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I was like, what's the odds that I top deck exactly Guardians, and I don't want to rely on having to top deck something, and I already had 2 Chimeras on board, so I was like, it's better to just call both of these creatures to be more as a better deterrent right now, because I care about right now usually against Rush.
It's a safer play, and like the other play is like you win if you top deck Palaolesis, like 100%, you close the game, but the play you did is like, I'm increasing my odds with what I have now.
Yes, that's exactly what you want to do, because if you play risky against Rush, you're gonna get punished. They're gonna top deck a speed attacker and just make you cry on the spot.
I mean, yeah, I think this is especially true with your deck, because other decks, they have to kind of play risky in order to win, and here you can slowly take the advantage, but can't like open up risks, because we see like no trigger stops an attack. So if they have like this one window where they can go in, then it looks bad for you.
Yeah, I even charge Mystrias early against Rush, because I know I have so many other draw power like Serum and Streams, and
get draw through the shields anyway.
Yeah.
and you only need to realistically stick one in the end somehow to.
Yeah, that's all you need. Usually it's buffed above volcanic at that point, or even if it's not, maybe holding a corpse charger also does the job if they do top deck volcanic for it. So that's what I did in one of the games against Mario, just held a corpse in case he had volcanic for it.
Yeah. So
also, I want to say I got quite lucky against Make. Game one, I went first and turned to Ghost Touch. Can you guess what card I sniped with it?
Probably Bronzer.
No, even better, Cranium Clamp, which would have been devastating for me because I didn't have stream. I had like other stuff. Yes. So, I mean, it was about time because for the longest time my Ghost Touches didn't snipe the clamp, so I got clamped early, but it was about to happen.
Yeah.
At some point.
You say a good point. Like, this deck, weirdly enough, is like a deck that doesn't want to play clamp, because otherwise it's so good to punish every other control deck that just tries to win Lost Soul Race, just to clamp them a turn before. But like your deck, you have the Balsas and you need to play them, and then like clamp really clashes with those. And I like your approach with Ghost Touch because like over time it will have the same effect as a clamp.
Yeah, especially if you put it with, if you happen to see both Ghost Touching Giga Balsa, it's like even better than a clamp because it's double random discard, and yeah, then you can even follow with Gigazald if you have it.
Yeah, and that's what I said in stream as well. Like, your toughest matchup, you won 2-0, so didn't seem tough at all from just looking at the results.
Forbos is my toughest matchup. I still believe LDN, especially with the Bonanza build, is tougher for me because he has 4 slash charges, so it's more slash charges to put my Rias in the graveyard before I see them, and they has quite a high chance to get Rias on turn 4, and if I don't see Snare, it's basically GG for me because I have no other way to really remove it.
Yeah, but I mean, relative to the road you had, like your bracket.
Yeah, relative to the bracket, true.
But yeah, you had like, there was a threat in the top 8. If it got through, could have been tough for you. Which, you lost the last round of Swiss to Serio, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it ended out well for you. You had the bracket set up for you where you had like one close matchup, which you won convincingly, and then the other 2 is like in your favor against FN Rush. Yeah, so do you have any closing words you want to tell our viewers?
Sign up for IDC. We play it monthly. We need more people so we can have 6 rounds.
Yeah, that's true. We need the
wanna go back to 6 rounds.
33 people to have 6 rounds of Swiss. So I also don't have much more to add. Congrats again on your win, and hopefully we see you guys at the next IDC, which is still open. The registration is open up until Wednesday, and then the tournament will start again.
I'm also very happy I was able to put Hydro on first place again, and this makes it a deck with the second highest amount of tournament wins after FN Rush now, which makes me very happy, of course.
Okay, so you're challenging me to get Forbos back? Run it back? Yeah.
Yes, but first you have to make it better against FN Rush.
Yeah, I do. Either that or pick something else.
Yeah.
All right. Then thank you guys for watching, and hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.